All right, welcome to Hoops Tracker. Jerry Howard, your host. Hoops Tracker is your source for Colorado basketball. We have a special guest today, Lukas McCanna out of Evergreen, who just spent his last year at Western Reserve Prep out in Ohio. Lukas, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Lucas. All right, dude, you got a huge announcement. Let's hear it. It's been chomping on you for the last week or so. Talk about your big commitment. What just happened?
So last week, I think it was on Wednesday, I announced my commitment to Utah. I went on an official visit Monday, Tuesday, got the offer Tuesday morning, committed to the coaches in person, right, like 5 minutes after. So,
That's awesome. Now you have to tell the story. Like, how did this come about? Like, we just had the viewing period. You're playing, you're playing on an East Coast team back in a Wildcat Select out of Pittsburgh. Talk about the viewing period and how this all came about.
so it was kind of random. Sunday, 8 a.m., early game. We were playing against Team Loaded. My dad actually sits next to Team Loaded's director. They
Uh-huh.
start talking. I was playing well. Guys asking my dad, what's recruiting like for him? My dad's like, he's talking to mid majors like around the Northeast. And my dad's like, he really doesn't want to be in the Northeast. He'd like to be Colorado and West or like a Southern school or Florida. Coach was like, or the team loaded director's like, well, would he consider Utah? And my dad's like, yeah, he would consider Utah. Coach calls his buddy that's assistant at Utah. Shout out Coach Chill, and he comes over, starts watching my game, catches like the last 5 minutes. So he didn't even see me play a whole lot. Watches a bunch of my film from AAU, high school, Evergreen. Um, Watches a bunch of film, calls my dad, tells him about the opportunity, calls me the following day, and then we just went from there.
Man, dude, that is so awesome. I mean, you hear little stories about this and
Hmm.
go through the recruiting process and everything, but you never really, everybody's got a different story, and that is the coolest story I've heard so far. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, let's jump back because last fall we had you on. Literally, you just showed up at Western Reserve. I mean, I don't even know if you were there a week, and we were talking and doing the interview and talking about your commitment for your
Mhm.
senior year. What was that like for you? Talk about your prep experience and what that was like and how it changed your game and how it helped you.
I mean, my prep experience was amazing. You're working out every day with the team, lifting weights every other day. And then, I'm in the gym either in the morning or during my free periods, either working out by myself with one of my teammates or one of my coaches. Um, my like the best experience I had from being at school there, was just calling my head coach, hey, Coach Garvey, can we go work out during my free period at 8 a.m.? Like, can we go work out then? I'd be in the
Hmm.
gym with him 2, 3 times a week, working out with him. I developed a great relationship with him,
Hmm.
as well as like, I built trust with him. So like he was confident playing me. But you're working out a ton, like it's what I wanted. I got tons better there. I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've had now if I didn't go there.
Right.
And so, I reclassed to a class of 2027 when I went there. Until about last week, I was expecting to go back for my senior year, but then, ended up graduating, I guess, on track, but at the same time early to
Yeah.
go to Utah. But my experience was amazing. Preseason was awesome. Unfortunately, I rolled my ankle in about October. So had some issues with that going into the season. So my first half of the season from October to December wasn't great.
Hmm.
Um, then once we got back from winter break, I started playing really well. Started starting most of our games.
Hmm.
Finished out the season pretty strong. So,
No, that's
but
cool.
prep experience was amazing.
What was the course load like? What was kind of like, you had a weight room, but was it more like a college weight room? Was it more like a high school? I mean, talk a little bit about some of those intangibles that a lot of people don't get a chance to see.
So the starting off with just the campus, it's structured like a college campus. I'm walking to every class. Beautiful campus, old brick buildings. They
Mhm.
celebrated their 200th anniversary this year.
Wow.
So it's like college. I've got block schedule, so it's like college, rotating blocks.
Hmm.
Course load was definitely a step up from Evergreen. Evergreen's a pretty prestigious high school in
Yeah.
Colorado. Like it's known for solid academics.
Hmm.
And I was shocked when I got to campus at Reserve. It's not just a basketball prep school or a lacrosse prep school. It's a good academic school. And that's something I was looking for. I believe we talked about this. Like I didn't want to go
Yeah.
to a pop-up prep school. I wanted to be
Right.
at a school where I was going to get challenged. And I excelled. I think I finished my GPA was 3.95, and I
That's
think I
awesome.
had all A's both times. Just it wasn't a 4.0 because it's on a 4.3 GPA scale, so it goes up to A plus and A minus.
So you
I
got
had
to
all
be.
A's the whole time. Yeah,
You got to be in
but
one class. I got you.
it was
No.
the A minuses that got me. The A
Yeah.
minuses, yeah.
But
But
that's
it
awesome.
was great. But I mean, you were asking about like the weight room. Weight room's on par to like a traditional high school weight room.
Hmm.
They're actually getting a new one, I believe, this year. But
Hmm.
our basketball court's amazing. Like I think the court was put in last year.
Hmm.
Our main gym was built in the 90s, I believe. And then
Hmm.
we've got an older gym that was built, I think, like 60s. That gym's sweet. It's very like old school, like Hoosiers kind of vibes. Like, we'd
Nice.
practice in there every once in a while. It was just an awesome feel.
No, that's cool. What talk about not just the weight room, but the training that you
Mhm.
did in the weight room. How many times a week were you working out preseason, postseason, even in season? I mean, talk a little bit about some of those workouts and then the intensity.
So, we were doing like it was different workouts from what I did traditionally. At Evergreen I'd lift with the football team and basketball team, so it was more
Hmm.
traditional lifting.
Hmm.
Lots of compound lifts. But at Reserve, shout out Dr. Jack. He's our training guy.
Yeah.
He We do a bunch of compound lifts and then like different lifts, so like mobility stuff, isometrics,
Hmm.
a lot of stuff like engaging your core and different muscles. So
Hmm.
you might be doing chest or like a shoulder press, but you're in a split squat, so you're activating your core and your
Hmm.
knees as well as working on your shoulder. So it's just
Nice.
different exercises like that. We'd lift preseason, postseason, we're lifting every other day. In season we lifted about 2 times a week,
Hmm.
just to maintain strength. But I
Hmm.
definitely put on a lot of strength there. Uh, and yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Like I had access to everything I needed. Dr.
Nice.
Jack was great with, telling us what we needed to eat, like nutrition stuff, supplements, as well as running the lifts. It was amazing.
So not to give away too many secrets, but what other than just you needed to eat more because
Hmm.
you're probably burning 3,500 calories a day. I mean, just sleeping or sitting down, you're burning 500 calories.
Hmm.
What was it like breakfast, protein shake, lunch, protein I mean, like everything was
No, so
supplemented with.
I wish it was like that. It would have been like not to knock the school or anything, but it was just we had a dining hall. The food was pretty solid, but like,
Yeah,
if we wanted protein shakes, we're on our own making protein shakes, stuff like that.
yeah,
But we had breakfast, load up on eggs, potatoes, fruit.
yeah.
Lunch, get pasta and some protein.
Hmm.
Dinner, just have whatever they're having for dinner. But there was always like options to eat good.
Hmm.
My favorite thing was having access to like PB&J station, like stuff like that. Pre-practice, go and make a PB&J, like get your carbs and protein in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't super structured. Like, you think like, you know, for like IMG, for example, might have like a super structured like
Hmm.
nutrition plan. But no, it wasn't anything like that. But I mean, we still had access to everything we needed.
So talk a little bit. You went on a visit to University of
Mhm.
Utah. What were the facilities like?
We're unreal. We're the class. Like that's one of the things I was blown away on the visit is like the facilities and everything, from the
Uh-huh.
locker rooms to weight room, and then even talking to like nutritionists, stuff like that. Like when
Hmm.
I get to campus this week, hopefully this weekend, like they'll do all my physical stuff, but like they'll put me in, I think it's called an EKG machine. They
Hmm.
scan my body, get my bone density,
Hmm.
muscle mass, body fat percentage, see where I'm at, see where I need to
Hmm.
be. But yeah, I mean the facilities are unreal. I mean, like Big 12, like that's what you're gonna get. So like having that in my pocket to be able to utilize that and work, like I'm super excited.
Well, and plus you'll still be at altitude, so you get a little bit. So when you drop
Yep.
down, man, it's going to be like coasting because
Hmm.
it's a big it's actually a big difference when you're playing a game. And I know when teams come to Colorado, they they struggle because
Yep.
they can't handle the altitude. So no, that's really cool. What are you going to major in? Tell me a little bit more about some of your goals and expectations for your first year as a freshman.
School wise, I'm planning on majoring in entrepreneurship. I don't think I start any of my business classes until my sophomore or junior year.
Hmm.
But expectation wise, in all honesty, like I'm more of a developmental position right now. You
Hmm.
know, there's no guaranteed minutes. Like they're not saying you're not going to play at all. Like I can totally earn a spot right now,
Yeah.
but at the same time, coaches are like, you're not expected to come in as a true freshman and play against Kansas, like get a bunch of minutes against Kansas. So I'm just looking forward to going in there, growing, utilizing everything. Like coaching staff's amazing. You've got three guys that coach in the NBA.
Hmm.
So like I've got all the tools I need, just go in there, grow, like stack days, get better, and then hopefully I earn some minutes this year, and then I'm like hoping that I'll be playing next year, like getting good role minutes, everything.
Man, Lucas, that's awesome. Now you have a little brother that's at
Mhm.
Evergreen this last year, and he blew up.
Yes, sir.
What advice are you giving him to get him ready? Just asking. I mean, you've got all this in the last year, you've picked up not only a lot of knowledge, but just getting out of the high school system and getting coached by other coaches that have a lot more experience, have a lot more in depth in the weight room, whatever it might be. What's kind of, I mean, what would your advice be to him and to other younger players wanting to follow in your footsteps?
I would just say consistency. Like you really have to, if you're not already in love with basketball, you have to fall in love with basketball if you have expectations to play.
Mhm.
You got to be consistent in everything, weight room, shooting every day. Like you can't expect to be a good basketball player and be in the gym 2, 3 times a week. You have to
Right.
be in the gym every single day. Like, and that's the bare minimum too. Like you can go to the gym and be messing around and say, yeah, I went to the gym. Like I went to the gym every day, but like, what are you doing in the gym? Are you getting like making every minute count? Like, I'd rather be in the gym for 30 minutes and get a great workout in, like where I'm like completely done, exhausted, rather than be in the gym for 3 hours and I'm messing around the whole time. So you
Yeah.
just got to be consistent, stack days, fall in love with the game. Like this past year reserve, it was challenging, but it showed me like how much I love basketball and how much I've fallen in love with basketball. Like it's something that's just a huge part of my life.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Lucas, this has been great getting you on the show. Thanks for jumping on. We are definitely going to stay in touch with you because I want to see how you grow over the next couple of years and how things go. But huge congratulations. That's so awesome. And just to see another Colorado player hitting the D1 circuit and, you know, man, you're going to make your mark. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.